all he felt was he felt and heard a pop. Okay. And from that, that's where, he just fell in agony and pain. He couldn't move. That's where, he was obviously rushed to the hospital, and they gave him the diagnosis that he was probably not going to walk. But that'll be another story for another time, because he is somebody who was really into bodybuilding, very knowledgeable, and especially of the golden era. I mean, he studied guys like Eugene Sandow, the Olympia trophy guy. Okay, and we'll get into all that with Coach Pino. Okay, but anyway, let me continue here. I relate this because I think it might interest you. The one exercise I do, which may have had some good influence upon my squat, was the good morning exercise. This was not done in a strict manner because I had to bend the knees in order to compensate for the weight at the neck. I made 685 pounds with my back parallel to the floor. Very impressive. 685 pounds with my back parallel to the floor. If I hope I can show some of these pictures here of him working that. Just a complete beast. On August 2nd, 1955, I weighed 401 pounds in t-shirt, loafers, and slacks. I decided to try to return to normalcy. So when they recount his story about how much weight he gained and how much he lost, it fluctuates. I mean, some people said it was 450, 480. Here in the interview, it says 401 pounds. Okay, but either way, still very impressive. Very impressive. The first week, I lost 17 pounds. I reversed my routine and did many reps. I spent many hours in the gym during the summer weeks. One week I trained 81 hours, and once trained 23 hours in 2 days. I lost 106 pounds in 11 weeks. And since then, have lost 218 pounds in 32 weeks. I went down to 187 pounds. For a few months, I trained 6 to 7 days a week and used 19 different exercises daily in my routine. My formula for gaining and losing weight is very simple. To gain weight, eat a well-balanced diet, but a lot of it. And to lose weight, eat a well-balanced diet, but a lot less of it. I will close this one, with one thought that I found helpful. If one follows these two rules, he can accomplish anything. The first, ask and you shall receive. And the second, the Lord helps those that help themselves. This article ends here, but I'm going to tell you something. There was another, when I first came across Bruce Randall. I'm going to try to find that original article that went in depth into this particular interview, because he actually outlined a lot of his routines and exercises, and it was extreme. I mean, there was times that this guy was, so involved in losing that weight that he would walk 8 hours throughout the day. Like, that was his job. Like, he wasn't doing anything else, just walking and training. Okay. And as a kid, you knew that bodybuilding didn't have a lot of money involved, especially if you were, if you're not like somebody high, like, at that time, Steve Reeves or Clancy Ross or Reg Park. And I mean, there's, people who had already some fame. Okay. Otherwise, you did it for the love of it. So I don't know what this guy was doing, as far as income, but that's what really blew my mind when I read he was just walking all day. But another thing that blew my mind was that he made a new resolution that at one point that he was going to do 5,000 sit-ups every day, and he accomplished that for approximately 3 weeks. He says in that article, and he lost, I don't know how much around his waist from doing that, and or he attributed to that. I'm sure that the diet had to do a lot to with it, but still, like I said, I'm going to try to find, we're going to go more in depth with him. Okay. But I just wanted to introduce this guy because, like I said, he was just very, just an inspiration. He lived and died in his later years here in Syosset, Long Island, New York. But I wish I would have known. I would have tried to see if there would have been a way to kind of meet him, because to this day, after coming across him years ago, almost 2 decades ago, who he was, I've always had some curiosity to him, and I still look back. But anyway, um, This is just like I said at the beginning of this particular topic. I want to see if I can close in on some pictures of what this guy looked like. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh, this is one.
Turbulent days. Actually, I built myself up on purpose because I found that there's a relationship between body weight and lifting ability. And if you eat the right kind of foods, and in conjunction with a barbell training program, you'll find as your weight increases, your strength increases. And I got a little carried away with that theory and went from 203 to 401 in 21 months.
Well, you remember we had the world's champion Paul Anderson on here, who weighs how much?
He's about 5'7", weighing 365, and is without a doubt the strongest man in the world. He's a good example of that theory of what.
Well, all right. Now, if you wanted to be a weightlifter, then why did you suddenly decide to pare down from your 401?
Well, actually, it was rather expensive. You see, I was one morning I sat down, had a loaf and half of bread, 2 quarts of milk, and 28 fried eggs for breakfast. And another day, it was costing me very often over $100 a week to eat. That was economic necessity, I would say.
So you heard it yourself. That's one of the clips from the show that I told you about. So he does admit that, but he was a very, very articulated, very intelligent. And they admit to that back then, and even today, some people have tendency to believe that if you're a bodybuilder you're just a dummy, you didn't have a mind. But even more, it was more so back then, that you were all muscles, no brain. Okay, but that was far from the fact. These guys were very smart, a lot of them, because I mean, think about it. A lot of the stuff that we now know about nutrition and the body